should be about right. Let's go. Schedule tomorrow, we'll check with Mrs. Osa, see if she's feeling up to farming. If she is, we'll do some field mounting. If she isn't, we'll be back here on Old Stream. For most of this week, Friday will still be warships. There is an event going on in World of Warships, so if you are a World of Warships player, you should be logging on every day for the next, I think it's 12 days now, or at least 10 of the next 12 days in order to get your login rewards. You don't have to play, literally start up the game, claim the reward and log out. And you're done. There's money, camouflages, loot boxes, premium time, which obviously if you log in and claim the reward and log out, you're not really making much use of that premium time. And I think towards the end, some of the last ones are things like premium. Not premium. Doubloons. So that's kind of nice to have. Saturday we'll be back on Lawfolds in the unexpected snowstorm of day 5 of Year 5's winter. And we'll probably sell some more silage bales and outside of that, kind of fast wind the last day of winter. Some animals might need to be fed, but apart from that, it's quick wind through winter and on to Year 6 spring. And good evening, God of Thunder, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? do own the weight on this tractor. So, oops. Oh, stop it. There we go. I think we own the weight in the tractor. Not a lot else at the moment. Hold the tipper. Which on reflection is probably a little bigger than I actually needed it to be. In sight. I'm going to guess we've got 2 more passes on this and then we're done. On to the next field. Start getting tricky. So we're backing ourselves into a corner. There's that trees in the way as well. Okay. There we go. Oh, just enough space. Well, some of these trees still have leaves on them. I don't think they're evergreen trees. Just don't have the blocky graphics that happen on some of the other maps. Sort of like silver birch trees. Fairly certain the leaves come off those in winter. Pass down here. Assuming I can keep the tractor straight. Come on, dude. We got this far. Tree. I'm going to drop this along the edge. Just in case there's any claimable land. Okay, I think that's done. This is a precarious hill. Mrs. Osa's taking a break. It's been a fairly stressful week. She wanted to relax tonight. And I didn't mind too much since we do have a map with seasons on it. So that's something to explore. Shouldn't really do that, I don't think. Well, that said, these two fields could quite easily be ploughed together. There's nothing to stop that. Would end up with a rather awkward shaped field because you've got the pig pen just to the west of this field, which makes it in weird shape. Our kids are being a little bit stressful now. We made the decision to withdraw our offer to adopt them. So they're transitioning over to another family. They're basically doing everything they can to wind up everybody around them. And we're also probably going to be cancelling our contract with the agency that we currently work with. Because they've been kind of less than honest as well. No, that is not easy on anybody. I mean, we've worked with some very nice workers. Who basically let you know what's going on with the kids, who they are, where they came from, what the issues are, and everything else. Then you end up with other workers who just, oh, I've got some kids, they've come out of a home, I've got to place them somewhere, and they will not tell you anything. And, you know, if you know the issue with kids when you get them, you can make allowances for that. But if they won't tell you the issues, by the time you discover them, the kids are just, yeah, the kids we've got won't listen to us, won't obey the rules, and when you discipline them for not obeying the rules, oh, you're just being mean. No, we're not being mean. You know what the rules are and you know how to behave. you just end up in a very bad situation where there's nothing you can do to get things right. And if the agency had told us what was going on before we started, we might actually have been able to do something about it. But no, we have to discover everything on our own. It's the foster parents that are on the front end trying to deal with kids who, because of the circumstances, are effectively damaged. But it's not like, oh, treat all the kids the same way because they're just kids and they're resilient and everything will work out in the end. It's sort of, no, it won't. It's like people who are poor. There are a lot of poor people in the world, but not everybody has the same reason for being poor. And taking a sackload of money and depositing on their doorstep and say, here, get on with your life, is not going to fix half of the people's problems. And that's effectively what they're doing with the kids, or a lot of them are doing with the kids. Is just sort of, here's some kids, look after them, feed them, clothe them, and it's, some kids are fine and some kids are less than fine and some kids are a complete problem. And each of them needs different handling. Nobody is ever one solution fits everybody. There. Sorry. Bit of a rant, but so that does mean that the kids are going to be out of the house we were told by the worker from Thursday onwards, but we were told by the prospective adoptive parents from Wednesday onwards. So we're going to have to get in touch with the agency and find out what the hell's going on, because we're getting conflicting stories depending on who we talk to. But either way, it does mean we're going to have a peaceful end of week. Screaming kids on the late night streams, which will calm my nerves something. Okay, we're in America, in Michigan, and while you have Child Social Services, which is a government entity, you have different agencies, private agencies, that deal with the foster parents and handle the licensing and the liaison with the kids and what have you. So for obvious reasons, I'm not going to say which agency I'm with. But we can terminate our contract with that agency because we are licensed by the state. So the agency does all the paperwork and all the footwork, and then basically provides documentation to the state to say, yes, we've done what we need to do to remain licensed. So we're licensed foster parents. We're also licensed to adopt from the foster care system. But we don't have to work with the agency we've been working with. We can go to a different agency. And that is a serious consideration. Where there was a worker who used to work with the agency, and she left. And we have touched base with her a couple of times just on various questions of procedure and what have you. And I think it was last time Mrs. Osei talked to her, she sort of explained, well, while she would love to work with us, she can't because we're still with the agency that she used to work for. Which kind of indicates if we want to leave the agency, we can. And once we've left the agency, we could work directly with her as an independent foster parent, as opposed to a foster parent with the agency we're currently with. Sort of, you could be a car mechanic at a Ford dealership or a Chevy dealership or whatever, and while you're a car mechanic at a Ford dealership, you can only work on Ford cars that come into you. Or you could be an independent mechanic, have your own garage and work on any vehicle that anybody wants you to. And that's kind of how the foster care system seems to work. The government deals with the kids, but the individual agencies deal with the fostering side of things. So the government will come in and say, okay, these kids need to come out of this house because abuse, neglect, whatever. And they'll contact the agencies in that area and basically say, okay, we have 2 boys, one's 8, one's 6, we're removing from the home, we need a foster home we can put them in. What have you got? And so the agencies will run around and look at their paperwork and say, okay, these foster parents, well, they've already got 2 kids, they're only licensed to 2, so they can't take any more. Or here's a foster parent with only 1 kid, they're licensed for 3, we've got these 2 here. They'll give them a call and say, okay, we've got 2 kids, do you want them? Here's the details. So child welfare isn't going around contacting all the individual foster parents with the details. The agencies are going around once the government, once Child Protective Services says we've got this, please find us somebody. One of the kids we had come through our home, we only had him for about 3 months, I think it was, and he was already on the way to getting back with his mum. His mum was underage when he was born, and to be honest, completely clueless about how to bring up a child. Plus the child had medical needs that she really didn't know how to cope with at the time. Now, basically the courts had come in and said, okay, look, you need to get your GED and you need to learn about this kid and how he works, and make sure that you turn up to the hospital at appropriate times and stuff like that. And so when we got him, reunification was in process, and Mum just had to prove that she was learning how to cope with kids. He spent, he was visiting Mum 2-3 times a week. But the previous foster parent was so pissed off with her agency. She'd just given them an ultimatum. Look, you need to do this, 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 this and this. And if you don't, I'm out. And she made it perfectly clear when we met her that, he's a lovely kid, I would love to keep him until, he's reunified with his mother. But quite frankly, I can't work with these people anymore. They are not providing the support they need to. And it happens. Most counties use a single government agency. Right, now we have obviously the county agency. We're actually on the border of the two counties. So we'll sometimes get kids from one county jurisdiction, and other times we'll get kids from the other county jurisdiction. But we're always getting them through the same fostering agency, which is not related to government, it's independent. This ploughed field because there's nothing in it. Oh, I was wondering, hang on a minute, how come I'm only one field away from the field that was already ploughed? That's because I'm doing two at the same time. Now we do have a vacation coming up the middle of next month, so obviously no streaming then. But all of this hassle transpires that, oops, excuse me, we will probably be taking the kids the first kids that we were foster parents to, since we've kept in touch with the mum, and they come visit every few weeks, which is our 5-kid weekend deal. But they will be joining us for our vacation instead of the 2 foster kids we currently have, because they'll be out of the house by then. We've had a lot of kids through it. A lot of kids have been really nice. Some have had problems, but vast majority of them have been, a joy to work with. We have had 2 that I don't want to ever see again, which is sad, but primarily because we weren't told the truth, and it takes you so long to learn exactly what the issue is, by which time you're completely out of your depth because you've made wrong decisions because you didn't know any better, because nobody told you. Fortunately, the kid with the underage mother was allergic to peanuts among other things. Fortunately, they told us before he got here, so we were able to clear the house of peanut products before he got here. But that could quite easily have been a disaster if they hadn't made us aware of it. This field's quite long. I should probably have gone north, east, west on this field. There's a long way down there. It's 4:15 already. So, because of the time of year, it looks like we are going to be ploughing this into the dark hours. Well, currently, what I'm doing here is no difference than I would do in not Seasons 19, so I'm definitely liking the premises I'm hearing. In fact, you can fail to germinate crops, storms can destroy your crops, weeds are not as pervasive as they are in Vanilla 19. But frankly, ploughing fields is ploughing fields, whether you're running seasons or not. I mean, obviously, if I was not playing seasons, I would probably be plough a field, plant a field, plough a field, plant a field, so that I've got something in the ground growing. At this stage, the ground's too dry and too cold for the seeds to germinate, so there's no point in putting seeds in the ground. I kind of like it. But then it's same as season 17. I like it because it structures the gameplay. And you're not really rushed. The only rush I have here is I want to get these fields ploughed before the end of the day because I'm paying leasing costs on the plough. So the sooner I can get this ploughing done, the sooner I can return this plough and stop losing money on it. We'll have the same deal with the spreader. I just want to put lime on all the fields and be done with it. And we'll be doing that during tomorrow's daylight hours. So there ain't no way I'm going to have time to lime these fields tonight. I could do, but it's going to be dark and it's going to be difficult. Going to be effectively a blitz playthrough here on seasons. Hopefully by the end of this week we could potentially be somewhere at the beginning of summer. With the time factor I'm playing at times 5, it's about 2 hours playtime per day. If I work into the night, obviously a little bit longer. I don't want to slow down to real time if I can avoid it. Could potentially risk crops come fall if it's raining and we've got more crops to pick up than we have time to harvest. With law folds I've pretty been much playing as real time.